Have you ever stopped to wonder why some people seem to solve problems effortlessly, while others struggle for years without progress? What if I told you the secret isn't working harder, but thinking differently? Most people tackle challenges head-on, marching forward step by step. But there's a hidden strategy that flips this on its head. It's called backward thinking, and it's the unfair advantage you didn't know you had. Today, I'm going to show you how to use it to leapfrog your competition, solve problems faster, and make decisions with unmatched clarity. Imagine trying to reach the top of a mountain by climbing blindly. Most start at the base, thinking each step forward will eventually get them there. But what if instead you looked at the summit first, then traced the path backward? Suddenly, obstacles that seemed impossible vanish. Paths that were hidden become obvious. That's the power of thinking backward. It rewires how your mind approaches challenges. And the crazy part, most successful people do this instinctively, without even realizing it. Think about it. When you watch a magician perform, why does it feel like they are bending reality? Because they work backward. They envision the result, they want the awe, the surprise, and then craft every move to lead there. They don't start with random gestures and hope it works. They reverse engineer the outcome. Now, consider your own life. How often do you plan forward without truly defining the end goal? You might have the talent, the drive, even the resourcey, but without the end in mind. You're like a ship without a compass. Here's a question for you. If you knew exactly what your ideal outcome looked like, would it be easier to get there? Of course. And that's exactly why backward thinking gives such an unfair advantage. It's not complicated. It's not about being smarter. It's about being intentional. Start by asking, what does success look like? And then work in reverse. Map every step you'd need to get there. This isn't the idiot strategy used by billion-dollar companies, elite athletes, and top performers across every field. Let me tell you a story. There was a young engineer named Sarah. She wanted to invent a device that could revolutionize energy consumption. Most engineers would start by experimenting with components, tweaking small details, hoping something sticks. Not Sarah. She started with the end. A fully functional prototype, optimized, tested, and market-ready. Then she traced every technical challenge backward to her first testable component. She identified exactly what to build first and in what order. Within months, she achieved in a year what others struggled with 4 or 5. That's backward thinking in action. And it doesn't stop at engineering. Think about storytelling. Great authors, filmmakers, and marketers craft their work by envisioning the impact. First, the emotions, the suspense, the transformation, and then work backward to structure their narrative. Even blockbuster movies are designed this way. The final scene, the emotional payoff, is decided first. Then the entire script is built in reverse to make that ending inevitable. This is why some stories feel seamless while others fall flat. Here's something you might not realize. Backward thinking also works in everyday decisions. Choosing a career, buying a home, or even planning a vacation can become exponentially easier if you start with the desired outcome. Imagine planning your dream career. Instead of asking, what job can I get today? Ask, where do I want to be in 5 years? Then trace backward. What skills do you need? What connections? What mindset? Suddenly, the path becomes clearer and obstacles lose their power. And yes, it feels counterintuitive at first. Most of us were taught to think linearly, to take one step after another. But here's the truth. Linear thinking limits possibilities. Backward thinking expands them. It allows you to bypass unnecessary steps anticipate problems before they arise, and leverage opportunities others miss. Think of it as a cheat code for life, a mental shortcut that only those willing to challenge conventional thinking can access. Let's get practical. How do you actually start? Step 1. Define the final result with precision, not vaguely, not approximately, but as if it's already real. Step 2. Identify the immediate obstacle that stands between you and that result. Step 3. Ask yourself, what is the last step I need to take before the outcome happens? Keep repeating this process, each time moving one step backward until you reach your current position. Each step should be actionable, clear, and measurable. That's how you convert vision into reality faster than anyone else. Consider sports. Elite athletes don't just train randomly, they envision victory, record times, or a perfect play. Then analyze every action needed to reach that performance. Olympic swimmers, sprinters, and football quarterbacks all reverse engineer their success. They dissect the final moment and work backward to optimize every single decision, movement, and thought. And you can do the same in any area of life, from business to relationships to personal growth. Curiosity alert. Even nature uses backward thinking. Birds don't learn to migrate by trial and error. They instinctively know the destination and the seasonal path backward to reach it. Bees construct their hives based on the final shape, not by randomly stacking wax. Your mind can tap into this principle too. The difference between struggle and mastery often boils down to whether you start at the destination or wander aimlessly. Now, let's talk psychology. Humans are wired to see problems first and solutions second. That's why we procrastinate, get stuck, or make inefficient decisions. Backward thinking flips this. You see the solution first, then identify what needs to happen to get there. This simple shift changes everything. Motivation increases, confidence grows, and the fog of uncertainty clears. Suddenly, challenges feel like puzzles with obvious solutions, not insurmountable walls. Here's a trick the pros use. Imagine the impossible scenario, the perfect version of your life, career, or project. Now ask, if I were living this reality already, what would I have done to get here? That question alone rewires your brain to think backward naturally. It primes you to focus on critical steps and ignore distractions that derail most people. It's like giving your brain a map while everyone else wanders blind. Let's make this even more compelling with a real-world example. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, famously starts with the customer experience. He envisions the perfect shopping journey and then reverse engineers every process, every technology, every decision to serve that vision. The same principle applies to Elon Musk with SpaceX. He imagines a fully reusable rocket, then works backward from landing to launch instead of forward from design to dream. Their unfair advantage isn't talent, it's backward thinking. And it's not just for giants. Everyday people can apply it. Think about saving money. Instead of wondering, how can I save $500 this month? Think backward. If I had $500 saved in 30 days, what steps would have led me here? Suddenly, every choice becomes obvious. Small sacrifices become meaningful, and the path to the goal is clear. Backward thinking turns abstract desires into concrete actions. Here's the kicker. Backward thinking also sparks creativity. When you visualize the desired result first, your mind naturally generates multiple paths to achieve it. You're not confined to conventional methods. You begin to see angles, shortcuts, and opportunities that others dismiss. This is how breakthroughs happen. Innovation thrives when the end goal guides the process, and curiosity pays off. Consider how detectives solve crimes. They start with the outcome a solved case and trace every clue backward. Each detail, no matter how small, becomes a step in reconstructing the path to truth. Your brain can operate the same way. Your goals, your dreams, your projects, they can be solved backward, step by step, until they feel inevitable. Let's address a common objection. But thinking backward seems unnatural. Isn't forward planning safer? Actually, forward planning often wastes time. It assumes you know the path in advance, when most paths are unclear. Backward thinking embraces uncertainty and focuses on actionable steps that actually matter. It's efficiency disguised as strategy. And once you try it, you'll wonder why you ever did it the other way. Here's another story. There was a young musician, Alex, who dreamed of playing in a world-class orchestra. And it's what's in relationships too. Want a stronger connection with someone. Picture the ideal dynamic. Then ask, if this were already real, what would I have done to create it? Suddenly, your actions align with your vision. Communication becomes precise, empathy becomes intentional, and misunderstandings diminish. Backward thinking transforms abstract desires into real, tangible results. Let's summarize the core principle. Start with the outcome, then trace the steps backward. Define clearly what success looks like. Identify the final obstacle, then ask, what's the last action before success? Repeat this process until you reach today. Every step should be concrete and actionable. That's it. Simple, but devastatingly effective. And the unfair advantage. Imagine it completed, then ask, if this were done, what would I have done right before this? Keep tracing backward until you hit today. I guarantee you'll discover steps you hadn't considered, shortcuts you hadn't noticed, and clarity that motivates immediate action. And the beauty is this: backward thinking compounds. The more you practice it, the faster your brain naturally scans for the most efficient path. Soon, it becomes instinct. Problems that once paralyzed you now feel like puzzles waiting to be solved. Obstacles shrink. Opportunities expand. Success starts to feel inevitable. Here's something else. Backward thinking forces you to confront assumptions. By starting with the end, you question every rule or tradition you follow. Why am I doing this? Is this step necessary? Could there be a better way? This mindset doesn't just make you efficient. It makes you innovative, confident, and unpredictable. People who think backwards see possibilities that others can't. And let's not forget speed. In today's world, speed wins. Ideas, actions, and decisions need to happen faster than ever. Backward thinking allows you to cut through noise, focus on what matters, and execute with precision. It's a turbo boost for productivity, problem solving, and personal growth. Finally, remember this: everyone can think forward, but few master thinking backward. That's why it's an unfair advantage. Watch how problems dissolve, how opportunities multiply, and how success begins to feel inevitable. Backward thinking, ISNT, just a tool. It's a mindset, a strategy, a cheat code that separates the winners from the rest. The question now is simple. Will you keep doing what everyone else does? Or will you start thinking backward and gain an advantage that feels almost unfair? Because once you start seeing life in reverse, nothing will ever look the same again. You're not just planning, you're designing. You're not just acting, you're orchestrating. And that is the unfair advantage that could change everything. Now, it's your turn. Close your eyes. Visualize the result you want. Trace it backward. Take the first step today. The future isn't waiting, it's already mapped. And with backward thinking, it's mapped for you.